Rumors are swirling as we get closer and closer to the start of actual free agency. And one rumor in particular was asked to be talked about on the show. So let's talk some TSM. Hello, everybody. We are back. Sorry that I missed last Friday's episode. Still got the Monday one up, but we'll be back on track, especially now that I'm not traveling, to freaking San Francisco and New York. While Worlds was amazing, it did throw off my schedule just a little bit, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, let's talk some rumors. So this one comes directly from Travis Gafford's show Hotline League, where he discusses a lot of the different rumors that were going on. He was the first one to break the 100 Thieves rumor. You should make sure that you go and check out the latest Hotline League for that stuff, especially because it was pretty groundbreaking stuff, potentially, for the LCS. But this was requested by some of the lovely folks in the Talking TSM Discord, and I wanted to make sure that I did credence to it, or paid credence to it. So one of the things I will say is I'm not exactly going to mix in everything that I am personally hearing about these rumors. I'm going to just try to react to them. The one thing that I will say, and I put this already out on Twitter, so go follow me on Twitter if you haven't, about how things have been going for TSM, are that initially things were not looking good. But over the last few days, or even I think maybe the last week, things have done a complete 180, and things are looking very good for their plans and the way that they want to do things. So what that actually ends up meaning in the end, I don't know yet, but we'll just have to see. Things are going to get very spicy here over the next couple of days. So yeah, make sure that you're sticking to this channel and checking out the Game House, because we're going to have coverage of all that crazy stuff going on. I gotta do this every time. All right, let's go straight to the question of the day here. What are your thoughts on the rumors and leaks? There's a lot of different stuff coming out about TSM, and just in general. I mean, do you like all the different rumors? Do you like leaks? Do you prefer that maybe people like myself don't say or talk about anything? I don't know. Please let me know in the comment section below. All right, so we're gonna go from top lane to support, as we generally do on this show. Maybe one of these days I'll flip it upside down, but the current rumor, the first rumor I should say, that was talked about by Travis was that Solo would be sticking around, and I think that there are going to be a lot of people who are excited about that, and I understand that 100%. He came in and he plays weak side really, really well, regardless of my personal opinions on him. The facts remain that this team got better with him on it, and they were, a game and a series away from making it to Worlds when he had no time to really play with this team. Again, I want to pay my respects for that. I think, if they were to bring him in, I could see him, still being, an average LCS top laner. Somebody who's not going to lose you the game, but somebody who's also not going to win you the game. And I will just say this. My biggest ip is the fact that he's also somebody who's not going to win us games. You don't need every player on your team to play a leading role. But there is what Huni was able to do in 2021, where he could win us games, and often he didn't lose us games. Sure, there were times that he did. Not going to deny that. But I liked that style where Huni was able to play weak side and still produce at a high level and help us win. But he was also able to carry games when asked to, when called upon to, because we felt that was the best strategy. With Solo, I do not feel that way. I don't feel as though he can still carry us necessarily. Now, we didn't really get to see it last year, and he obviously hasn't played really since 2020. So, it's been basically almost 2 full seasons of us not being able to see that. Maybe things could change, but I'm not going to deny that I wouldn't really personally like this signing. I still think if you're going to go young, you should go Solar Tenacity, especially considering the fact that Solo will be turning 30 right around the time of MSI, which is very old for this league. But that's okay. We move on. Next one was that TSM were choosing between Santorin and Closer. Now, I don't hate this, especially if you can't get somebody who you're going to build maybe around. I see both or either of these players being more of like a 1 or 2 year thing to help kind of the rest of the team build its way up. I think if you're going to sign a veteran person and you don't have a great option in terms of your of a younger jungler, I think these two would be great. I really like Santorin. I think that he was excellent on Team Liquid, and I think he instantly makes this team better. I think Closer has played at MVP levels at different points in his career. I do think when the spotlight shines the brightest, he does seem to shy away from it at times, and maybe that's something that he can, adapt to and learn from. Like I said, unless if we were to go and get Will, I actually really like these options. I don't think you'll have to pay too much. Both of them are basically just getting kicked from their team right now, and will probably be happy to have a new home. I will say I don't think that we will see them perform at like a top 3 level, maybe initially, especially considering how the rest of this team might look. They'll probably be middle tier as well for right now, and can definitely push into that top tier, and that might be something that TSM wants. So yeah, I'm okay with these ones. I will point out again, because I think age is an important factor right now when looking at our team. Santorin will be turning 26 by MSI, and Closer just turned 24. If I had to pick, unless if we need the import slot, which Closer should be coming up on the availability to be native here relatively soon. But if we don't need the import slot, or don't have to worry about the import slot, then I would prefer Closer over Santorin for right now, but that's just personal preference. The next one is that Maple is staying. I don't love this. I also don't hate it. And I know that's very open-ended and ambiguous, I guess, but maybe ambiguous isn't the right word, but I'm not giving a definitive statement on it, because I don't think that there are a lot of mids right now that I'm personally super pumped about. Copy or Harry would be interesting and ones that I would certainly consider, but I just don't, Maple seems fine to me for right now. I think he is I think he is a solid player. I don't think he showed us his best this last year. I think he was still adapting, and if TSM wanted to keep him because they didn't feel like they had a younger option to go to, again, I would be okay with this. I believe he's still only 25, and I say only because it feels like he's been around forever. Yeah, he just turned 25 a couple weeks ago, so I don't hate him staying around. Again, if they don't have a better option that's maybe a little bit younger, I think missing out on VTO was expected, but I'm okay with Maple. AD carry position is apparently still up for discussion. I still have been hearing that TSM are looking in the East for an AD carry. I know that there are options that people really like here in North America. I'm open to all of them right now. I think it's going to really just depend on that import slot, which looks like top lane, and we'll move on real quickly. Lastly, to support as well, wouldn't be much of, they would be native, so you'd only need one more native player, whether that's AD carry or jungler or mid. It wouldn't really matter. I would prefer a younger AD carry that you could build up, but again, that's my personal preference. The last one here is Chime. It's pretty much confirmed, I think, at this point that Chime is staying. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. He is still young in terms of a support player. I think support players can easily play into probably their early 30s even. He's only 23, I believe. So I don't dislike this at all. I actually think if there's a single player that TSM are going to keep, and actually, in my opinion, the only player that they should keep from last year's playoff roster, that we actually would even have control over keeping, would be Chime. I love Chime. I think he has a lot more to show us, and I think he could be a huge leader on this team and would be great and very beneficial for any younger AD carry that we might bring in. Now, that's it for the rumors. I'm going to quickly give my thoughts here. My major first impression is, listen, I don't expect us to win Worlds necessarily, but I do think that we should be building up towards being a team that is consistently back at the top, not that's just at the top for a brief period and then loses it, right? That's kind of what 2020 felt like. We were back at the top, and even 2021 summer, we're back at the top, and then as soon as we got to playoffs in 2021, we kind of faltered, right? Or as soon as we got to Worlds, we had the memeable now 0-6, right? These last 2 years, I have really felt like they have to reset and get younger talent at some point. With Spica being gone, I think that that is just more important than it has probably ever been in TSM's history. I don't think that we did a good job at building out our academy team, evidenced by most of our academy team is no longer on the team. And a lot of them were apparently there. Well, not a lot of them. Some of them were there because apparently Peter Zhang got paid to put them there, basically. That's a whole mess. I think you have to restart the system to a certain degree. And I think there are players that are worthy of being given a chance. My last thought on this roster that he is talking about is I believe we would also be the oldest roster in the LCS. We would not have a single player, at least of the 5 players that he mentioned, that would be under the age of 20 or 21 or even 22. And that to me is a pretty serious issue. Players do decline with age. That is just a known fact. And right now, the only player that I see as a long-term part of our future potentially is Chime. And that is an issue for me. So we'll have to see. You guys will have to let me know in the comments what you think, but I would not personally be overly excited for this roster. I think we would be a pretty average team, and I'll be honest with you, I don't really care about being average. I would rather suck for a year and be amazing for the foreseeable future, but let me know. Maybe you guys feel differently. But yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys on the next one.